They work? No. And we didn't tell Emma.
Okay. Number two. First off, let f of x equal, and then there's a big fraction that I don't feel like reading, but you get the point. Express f of x in the form, basically the partial fraction decomposition form, and then we're going to integrate it. And then, yeah, show what the integration is. Yeah, I think so.
I better take them keys with me.
Okay.
All right, yes.
Saxophone and everything?
Yeah.
That means we're all piling in your car. No, you're not.
Who's walking to the map?
I can drive one person.
Okay.
You can drive one person.
Yeah, I have to take my sister home, and then I also have to take Brendan home, and then when I come back.
Okay.
So by the time I come back, then you guys are already there walking.
Yeah, that's fine. Who's walking to the meeting?
What meeting?
After school, we're gonna get together at Arby's and work on this packet some more. We're gonna either drive there, or we're gonna, those of us who don't drive, we're gonna do a walk down the Arby's. Yeah, get some exercise. So if anyone wants to, you can do that. Your card. You came prepared. Besides this fraction.
Partially fractionize this decomposition.
Decompose, that's the word.
Partial fraction decompose.
I couldn't think of the word. Okay. So first we know that we need to get it to look like this, because it gives it in this form. If it doesn't give it in this form, then we know we need to split it into fractions based on each of the factors in the denominator. And if this was a trinomial or something, then we would have to factor it out. So we have the factors here, and they need to be the denominators each of the fractions.
Yes.
So in this case, it tells you how to set it up.
Yes. So, because the exponent's on the inside, we only have one of those. But if it was on the outside, we'd have to do the singular one and then the one that was squared.
Yes. If it's just a basic x normal one like this, then it just goes normal under a variable. Well, it's actually a constant, but the unknown.
You're pretty basic.
Like that. What's that? Shut up and do your Italy notes that are due today, punk. Calling you out. Alright. This one, because the exponent is on the x directly inside of the parentheses, you need to set it up
As bx.
I finished them all yesterday.
like
Like
this.
20.
Now,
5 minutes.
in this problem, it's not set up like this, but if there were, you gotta keep in mind that if there were a root in the bottom like this that had exponent on the outside, you would have to do one of these fractions for the basic one without the variable. Like if it was 2 minus x quantity squared, you would have to do a over 2 minus x, and then also a b over 2 minus x quantity squared. So you'd have to split it up like that and do both. But that one isn't relevant here, so we're just doing this. So first off, we want to multiply. Go away! We don't want any Girl Scout cookies. Alright, first off, you want to...
What else do we do for I? Is that it?
What do you mean for
You have
I?
to solve for the
No, we have to
Solve for
define
X. Oh, yeah,
those
that's
things
right.
and then set it up like that. So what we want to do is, first, we want to multiply the entire thing by whatever's on the bottom here. So, by these two things, we're going to multiply it the way across, which means it's going to cancel out here. We're going to have 6 plus 6x equals, so for a, we're multiplying by both of these things. So it means these two are going to be in the numerator. However, this is in the denominator, so this is going to cancel with this, and we're only left with the remaining roots that are not in the denominator of this fraction. Same thing here. Multiplied by both of these are in the numerator. This one cancels with this one, so we just have the 2 minus x left. So it's going to be plus, in parentheses, bx plus c times 2 plus x squared. So we set it up like that. And now we can solve with variables.
Wait, isn't that 2 minus x? For the bx plus c?
Yes, it is. Looking up there. Thank you. Second step, already would have screwed it up. Okay, so now we want to solve the variables by letting x be whatever different numbers. So in this case, we can start with, well, basically we want to try to cancel out these variables. This one, you can't really cancel out because you need to get this to be 0 to cancel out the a, and in order for this to be 0, you would have to have
A negative?
the x squared be -2, and you can't do that.
But x equal 2.
But you can
X
have
equal 2, yeah, exactly, for here. So you can't eliminate a, but you can eliminate that.
Yeah.
So let x equal 2. 6 plus 2 times a, 2 plus 2 squared, times b times 2 plus c times 2 minus 2.
Hello.
Just double checking.
Yeah, we're good.
If you need anything on next door.
So the 2 minus 2 is obviously 0, which means that's going to cancel out all of this. So right now for this example we have 6 plus 12, we can just say that's 18, right? Okay, everyone's okay with that? I can skip that step. And then a times square 2 to get 4, plus that's 6.
So that's why I went to
So 6a is 18, divide both sides by 6, and you get 3. I had to think about that.
Yeah.
I can't mental math. Alright, so now we know that, I'll write it up here in our little, this is what we know box. We know that a equals 3. Okay, so can I erase this step and then we can let x be another thing?
It's all good. It's on video, so.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've got this equation and we know something, we know that a is a 3. So we can fill that in there permanently. We're good to go. Actually,
Yeah.
why don't we change it up here a while?
I'll just come in and do the paperwork.
There we go.
Explain to them.
So it's up there.
You won't have to-
And so we'll just keep updating both of these and then we'll be left with our answer. So now we need b and c. What we can do is let x be 0, cancel out the b here. 0.
Second.
Second
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Monday is
So
Christmas.
they'll come in at 4, and then after 4, you go to lunch.
Can you say on Monday?
And I think there's a fifth.
Yeah, Christmas is on Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Monday.
Mondays for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's,
Okay.
I believe.
So we have that. This is 6. We have, that is 6.
Right.
But then this cancels out b. So we have just c times 2. 2c.
Second.
Move the 6 over. 0. And divide by 2, obviously. So
Okay.
c equals 0. So I'll take that there. Get rid of that there. Which means we're just going to have a
Yeah.
bx up there.
And then we have to let x equal.
Cambridge English doesn't do that.
Got it?
Yeah.
You good? Alright, can I erase this? Alright.
You may want to
How
talk
can we
to
divide?
Amber. She's at 101.
Okay, and now finally we're going to find b. So this is 0, right?
Yeah.
So we can just
Leave it like that.
ignore that.
Yeah.
So now,
I'm next door. So
to find b, we just plug in any arbitrary x value because it's only one variable. Exactly. 1 is usually the easiest because it's less to deal with. So 6 plus 6 times 1 times, in this case, it's 3 times x plus 1 squared plus b times 1, ignore the c because we already know it's 0, times 2 minus 1. So solve this. This is
I also just want to
that's
let you know.
12.
I'll let you know.
That is 3 times 3 is 9, right?
Right.
Plus, this is 2 minus 1 is 1, and then b.
Okay.
So subtract 9 from both sides, and we get b equals
103. I think it's 105.
there we go.
A and B.
And now
105. Yep.
3x, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now we have I done, and we've expressed it in partial fraction decomposition terms. So that is another way to write this. So yeah, now the fun part.
Wait, nothing.
No. Alright, so we're going to integrate. Integrate from, well, this is not going to work. -1 to 1. So what we're going to do is, there, so we have 3 over 2 minus x plus 3x over 2 plus x squared.
You should put 2 of the anchors.
You want to do it separately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can do. Alright, so we've got those two things to integrate. And because it is essentially with a few number manipulation, it'll be a, what's it called, a du over u? Is that what
So
they call it?
yeah, du over
The
u.
du over u one, which is the ln, basically, when you integrate it, it goes to
Wait,
ln.
isn't it also,
So we
yeah,
take
we
the, yeah.
derive the bottom, then
We're
the
not
du1,
deriving, it's integrating.
I know, but it's a du over u situation.
Yeah,
So,
We can make, you can make it do a du.
so you need to make the numerator
pull
negative
out the
1.
negative.
So what you want to do is, oh my gosh, why?
New pen, just use new pen.
This isn't a new pen. I tried this one first.
Try a different one. There's another black one on the board. Like physically on the board.
Okay. Boy, we gotta try this one now.
Hey.
I'm sure now you work. Making me look like a fool. I do that on my own. Okay, integrate. 3 over 2 minus x. We'll do this one first.
What can we plug?
In order to get it to be a du over u, we need to make this a -1.
Yeah.
So what we can do is pull out the 3. That's not changing it in any way, shape, or form. Now we need to make this a -1. But since we did a negative there, that changes the value, so we have to put it out here to negate it. Because negative and negative is a positive,
Yeah.
so we didn't change anything to it, we just rearranged it. So now that we have this works as an ln. So this is -3, because you put that, then ln of what's in the denominator.
Okay.
And that is the integrated form of this one. Then plus integral of 3x over 2 plus x squared.
Is it parentheses or absolute value?
That's, I did parentheses, but I guess isn't it supposed to be absolute value or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, then I will do that.
Because it can't be negative.
Yeah, I always forgot that, or I just forgot about that thing. Okay, so now we have, so to integrate this one, this is again, we need to make it a du over u. So yeah, we need it to be 2x on the top. So what we can do is pull out the 3,
Divide by 2.
put a 2 here, and then we have to put a
2 on the bottom, so that it's
1/2 here to negate each other to basically equal to 1. So we're not changing the value at all. So plus, this carries down 3/2. This is now a du over u. So we can say ln of 2 plus x squared. And now we have integrated it.
That one is always going to be positive, so you don't need the absolute values.
Well, exactly. Okay, so now we have this as, that would be the, what's it called, the indefinite integral, I believe, if we have the plus c, because we didn't do this yet.
Yeah.
Alright, but we don't need a plus c because we have an a and a b. So,
You can't cry.
we're going to plug that in. Yeah, right, no crying. That,
And then just bring that down.
so we have this. So it was -1 to 1.
So you do the negative one first, then why?
Oh, you do the greatest one first, the 1, and then subtract it from the negative.
Alright.
So we'll do -3 ln of 2 minus 1, right?
Yep.
Plus 3/2 ln of 2 plus 1 squared. Then minus, in parentheses, because it has to carry out the minus throughout the entire thing, we do -3 ln 2 we'll say plus 1 because it's minus negative 1.
Yeah.
That good? Alright, and then plus 3/2 ln of 2 plus 1 squared. Close parentheses. So now that's what we're doing. So simplify this. This is negative 3 ln of 1, and ln of 1 is 0,
Yeah.
I believe. That's one of the things you can cancel out. So forget about that. Plus 3/2 ln of, this is 3, right? 3 minus, and can we distribute the minus now in this step?
Yep.
So we'll just make this plus 3 ln of 3, and then minus 3/2 ln of, and that is 3. Right? Yeah. Okay. So now we have this. Forget that because that negates. This is a positive 3/2 ln of 3, and here's a negative 3/2 ln of 3, which means we can cancel them. And we're left with 3 ln of 3, which is exactly what it tells us to have.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Number 2. Alright.
Alright, any other ones that you guys want to do? We got time. Anything on
I
this
think we
sheet?
should do like 7 or 5 or something.
7 for the calculus?
Yeah. Oh, that was. Wait, no, the one that we're on already, kind of thing.
Yeah, the weird,
Yeah.
the M thing. Alright then, I might need some help with this one.
Yeah,
Number
we
7.
help each other.
Yeah.
So the first number
Let's go
7?
Number 7.
Thank you. What did you say, Nick?
The first number 7?
Yeah, the first number 7 for the calculus part.
Um,
Okay, I can erase all this?
you want to see what I did? Because I got the answer.
Get like a milkshake it up.
Get a milkshake and put all of it in the milkshake.
And write that in there.
For the first part, you just
As long
take
as
the
I'm
derivative
Eraser.
and then plug in 2 for 2 for x and show that it's equal to 0.
Okay. 7. Oh gosh.
Yeah, 'cause you've proven dy dx equals 0, and then
Okay, so which one?
for here you
Number
just integrate
7,
that
it's on the
using
back of the
tabular
very first sheet
method.
in your review packet. It is
Integrating by
the
part.
It's the one with the funny looking
Funny looking line thing. Curve.
That's not
And you plug in
Curvy
the
boy.
2 and the 0 and subtract them.
Did we talk about this one?
I vaguely remember.
Because
Maybe.
I remember.
I might have talked about it with. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the diagram shows the curve y equals x squared e to the 2 minus x. And
Which is gross.
This is derivative, you get any deriving of any sort.
we're going to integrate this one.
Ooh, oh, so you're trying to find the maximum.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well,
What if you're trying to find the minimum, you would derive it, right?
no, we derive to find a max or min. Later on, we're going to integrate
Part
to
2.
find the area in part 2. So I think maximum point M. Show that the x coordinates of M is 2. So that means when we derive this, that is the slope of any point that we plug in, right? So we want to set it equal to 0 and basically show that when we set the derivative equal to 0, an x value is going to be 2. And that's how we prove it, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
We're gonna derive this, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to derive this one. So this is product rule.
Yes.
So that is,
The one that we don't remember because we never use it.
is it derivative of the first times the second? And is it plus or minus?
Plus.
It's plus?
It's different.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
It's a
know.
plus in
yeah.
between?
Yeah.
Oh, then it doesn't matter the order.
Wait, is it?
Right?
F1 times. So we have it. G. Give me 2 seconds. Plus.
Okay,
Give me
yeah.
2 seconds.
Get the
I have
formula
it.
just in case.
Times.
Prime? Yeah, that
You
sounds
said the product rule?
the product rule.
I see here, it's plus.
Yeah, it is.
It's f prime
plus, then it doesn't matter
times
the
g
order.
plus f times g prime.
Okay, so we'll do derivative of the first times the second plus the derivative times the first.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're saying?
No, I don't, but I know what I mean,
Good
and I think you guys know what I mean. Okay, so we'll do derivative of the first times the second. So derive the first one, and that's
Yeah,
this.
derivative of the first times the second.
Derivative of the
Plus.
first, x squared is 2x. times the second. So e to the 2 minus x.
Yep.
Plus,
F of x.
it is going to be the derivative of this, well, we'll just say
It's the
plus the
first
first
derivative.
times the derivative of the second.
I said derivative.
Derivative. Alright, so deriving this,
I don't know.
is it just, you
It's
derive
either you
this, you derive the exponent, bring it to the front, and then just keep the e and exponent as it is, right?
Yes.
So negative.
So isn't it going to be negative
Negative
e to the same thing,
Yeah, that's what you mean.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that how you do it?
That's
I
what
want to say that's right.
That's how you do it.
Because I remember something like, if you keep deriving this, it'll just keep switching back and forth between the same two things. Yeah. Okay,
So the second derivative.
so it's that. Nick, you had this one worked out, is that
You
right?
set that equal
Yeah.
to 0, right?
Okay.
Set that equal to 0 on the self derives? Or, no?
Yes.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, that's the derivative. Okay, so we can, I think, clean this up a bit. So 2x e to the 2 minus x plus, actually that's a
Minus.
negative, so we can make it a minus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. E to the 2 minus x. So there's still the e to the 2 minus x here, but it doesn't matter how much you clean it up, because we're just plugging in numbers.
Yeah.
So set it equal to, actually no, we're not plugging in x. So do we have to combine them? How do we solve for x in this one? Wait,
No.
what? Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. But how do we solve for, it says show that it's 2, so technically we could plug it in and show that it's 0.
They would not
Yes.
use points.
But I think that's cheating.
That is
I
cheating.
mean, they
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to plug in 2 for x and then show that dy dx is equal to 0.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank
That's
God.
much easier. Good, I don't want to do it the other way. I don't know how you do
The
it
long
the other
way around. Just start plugging in random numbers.
I'm
until you
Plug in
get
2
zero.
for x,
I'm
clean it up, and it shakes
103%
out
okay
to be
with that.
0.
2 times 2, right? Is the x? Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Times e times 2 minus 2.
Even.
Or e to the 2 minus 2. And then 2 squared times e to the 2 minus 2. So e to the 2 minus 2 is to the 0, which makes it 1. Because anything to the 0 is 1, right? So that becomes 1, so it doesn't matter. Y to,
It was 4 minus 4.
yeah. So we have 2 times 2 is 4, minus 2 squared is 4. Y equals
wow.
0, and it is proved. Now we get to integrate it. Dun dun dun. Okay, so can I erase? You writing down? You good? Everyone good?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Now find the exact value of. So we're integrating it from 0 to 2. X squared e 2 minus x. X. Okay, so we're going to integrate that. That is the thing where you keep doing the thing.
The chart. Is it the chart thing?
This is the
That-
chart thing.
Is this yes because we can get this
It's the
down to
chart.
0?
Yes,
this is the
it's
chart
the
thing.
chart
It's
thing.
not really like you have
Oh,
a
And then you go across.
We start.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
the
I just did a problem like this with Nick, so I can't remember the chart.
3. Forgot.
It is,
It's positive, negative, positive. So it's still positive.
yeah, but the chart
And it's
is
U and DV.
U, dv, and then we're going to find du and v,
Oh, is that one?
right?
Yeah.
No, because we can get to 0.
Or do we not need to?
We don't need to do that
Oh,
because
well,
we can get to 0. We can
yeah,
use
but
the
we're-
other chart.
We're going to use
Yeah.
Doing this anyway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you
we
only
just-
need
we don't need
U
to.
DV you can use.
Yeah,
The
it's,
chart is U and
is
then
it
DV.
U,
DV.
DV,
And it's positive, negative,
positive,
positive, negative.
and then,
On the left side, left column.
Left hand
Left?
side, and it's positive, negative, positive, negative.
okay,
Remember that?
so,
No. Yeah.
I'm just going to say that's a label.
That's a label.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it's going to be a positive, a negative.
Why'd you do it there? Right? What
in
are
the
you
column,
doing?
I made the column for it, and I didn't do it in the column.
That's the definition of insanity.
didn't get my Cheez-Its.
Same here.
I'm normally hiding in the corner eating Cheez-Its, pretending to pay attention. Okay, positive, negative, positive, yeah. Okay, so u is the one that we derive,
Yes.
so it has to get to 0,
Yeah.
which means
X squared is perfect.
X squared.
Beautiful.
Gonna do x
You're
squared,
gonna do
derive it to x, derive it again,
Two.
x
2.
to 2,
And then 0.
and then one more for 0. Now we have e to the 2 minus x, right? And we're going to integrate it, which is same thing, but instead of putting it out here, we put it on the bottom.
So again,
But in this case, it's a -1, so it doesn't matter.
We can switch it, right?
It's going to keep switching between
Wait, explain again, I'm sorry.
which one? This?
Why is it just switching or whatever?
Alright, so basically,
you take the derivative of the exponent and then bring
Oh,
it to
then
the
you
front.
do it for.
when you're deriving e to the something, you derive the exponent and bring it to the front. When you're integrating, you derive the exponent, bring it to the bottom, because that's essentially the reverse of what you did.
Yeah.
So in this case, we're integrating, but with an e to the something like this, if it's the derivative is a -1, then it's just going to keep switching signs, because either you're dividing or multiplying by -1. Really, that doesn't matter. So you divide, so you bring this, the derivative of this down to the bottom, so -1, so it just becomes negative version of itself, and then keeps going like this.
What do we do with that? I forgot. We did like
Alright,
a little cross.
we do this,
So we just take the last one.
right?
Yeah. Over, down, over, down, over, down.
Okay, yeah, over down. So now we have
Positive.
positive x squared.
Minus.
Is it minus or is it multiply?
I think it's multiplied.
Is it
Yeah, you
multiply?
multiply.
Yeah.
You
So
multiply negative.
it becomes negative x squared e to the 2 minus x, right?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Wait, isn't it 2? Oh, never mind.
What to?
Wait, how did you get that? Oh, wait, never mind. I know. Okay, never mind.
Go across. You
Yeah.
good?
I
Okay.
didn't realize you broke them all out. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. Next, it's going to be a minus 2x e to the 2 minus x, like that. And then finally, it's going to end up being a minus because of this, but we'll
Yeah.
say plus 2 times
Negative.
negative e to the 2x,
Uh-huh.
so it's minus 2 e to the 2x.
So can't we combine?
So
The-
that is our integral,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Trinomial.
It's a weird void. Okay.
That's a trinomial.
It's just all.
Kind of. Oh, yeah.
It's a trinomial.
Oh, that's funny.
That's scary.
Kind
Can we factor out the e minus 2x?
let's not. Let's leave it alone. Because we're just going to plug in stuff now.
Uh-huh.
0 to 2, right?
Yep.
So we plug in 2. So negative 2 squared. E to the 2 minus. Hey, that's the one that cancels things. Sweet.
Oh, thank God.
It's the, yeah. 2. So now we do that minus 2 times 2 to the e, or times e to the 2 minus 2. Inside set.
So this is all.
Minus 2 times e to the 2 minus 2.
So all of these turn
Negative
1.
10.
all the e's cancel out.
So,
So we
that's
have
negative.
Negative 4
4.
minus 4
Did we
minus
just do this?
2.
Oh, never mind.
And what Noah said, that's a negative 10. Right?
Minus.
Wait, isn't the first one positive though? Because it's 2 squared, right?
You do that.
Wait a
We
minute.
did-
There's, the negative is outside the,
Oh, okay.
It's not all together, yeah.
yeah, it's just minus x squared. So x squared is 4, so it's minus 4.
Negative 10 is the exact.
And then we have to do the 0.
Zero.
So now we do
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about the 0.
minus with a 0. So
You can do it, right?
wait a minute. So if that's a 0, it's going to cancel the whole thing. That's a 0, it's going to cancel the whole thing. So we have this. So do you want me to write all this out, or do you
No,
understand
that's
that
good.
it's going to cancel?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It's gonna cancel for the last one.
No.
No, it won't because there's no 2x.
It's going to be e to the 2 times negative 2. What's that? Can someone calculate it? What's e to the 2?
E to the 2 is 7.3891
That number.
times 2, right?
So what did you say? 7 point.
3891.
Gosh.
Times
Oh, it says
2.
find the exact value,
Yeah.
which means I'm just going to leave it as an e thing.
Uh-huh.
So that's great. So this becomes a plus because it's minus negative this because all this is canceled
Yeah.
already. So it's plus 2 e to the 2, right?
Yep.
So it's
it's negative 10.
going to be negative 10 plus 2e to the 2.
Or we could even write it as 10 minus 2e to the 2. Right?
You got,
Can we do that?
No, we can do
You
2e
got
to the
it.
2 minus 10.
he changed it to 2 times e to the 5 minus 5.
What?
Or, I don't know if it's a 2 or a 5. It looks like 5.
We'll say it's a
That's
2.
what- here, look.
Say it's a 2?
He ended up with what we got, but then he changed it to the bottom.
What?
2e to the 5.
Square root of negative 2 is a negative 4.
Can you switch the e to the bottom or something?
Right.
He did something with a 10. I don't know.
I don't know what he...
Positive
Because-
4 or negative 4.
Wait,
This is a negative.
Square root of negative
Yeah, so it makes all of this negative.
Wait,
That's
what?
a negative.
At the very beginning, the
It all
very
happens
beginning,
in the
where it says
got
negative
it.
2 squared, below that left, right there, yeah, your finger's on it.
It
Yeah.
should be positive 4.
That should be a positive 4.
Why?
It's negative 2.
squared.
It's negative 2 squared. You do the negative after.
2 squared and then.
You square, it's this,
Negative on the e.
so the exponent comes first, before the negative.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you square it to be 4,
Ten
then
dollars.
it's negative 4.
10 does.
Yeah, it wasn't in parentheses.
Negative 10 plus 2 each.
Do you have the actual answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it. She said
He
it's.
did 2
This.
times e to the 5 minus 5. Wouldn't that just be e to the 0? No, that doesn't
I
really.
don't know what he did.
That's just ignore.
I'm pretty sure this is.
I mean, that's.
Do you see
solid.
any logical problems in here?
It's a whole bunch of 2s.
Does this make sense? That this is the answer.
What did you get for?
The whole point is graph.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't.
It seems pretty solid.
Is there something? I don't know if there's something you can do to like make the.
So
I don't know how he got 5.
Can
Well-
we, somebody look it up on extreme papers?
Hey, if we did screw something up, it was probably a math error, which means as
No,
long as
because
you
we
know how
got
to
the
do
same
it.
thing as him before, but he changed
It
it
doesn't give
somewhere,
us
like at the
attached
bottom.
Alright, well then.
Because he ended up with 10 minus negative 2e squared, and then he changed it to something else.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't really care what
Yeah,
he
I don't-
did because I think this is fine.
Yeah, I think
Like,
Fair.
Yeah.
I think Miss K would be
Would be
okay with this.
Somebody text Miss K. Does anybody have her number?
This case is good. Thank you.
Email it.
What is
So-
it?
I got 12.778 because I think they said to round it
For which one?
for number 7.
For this?
I
It
think you
says
don't have
give an
to change
exact
it.
value.
This says give an exact
I
value.
remember when I used it to do this.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you
in this
should
one,
have-
we don't.
What was this do?
You got negative 10 plus 2e
Should
squared.
write notes. Yeah, Coach Ryan.
Uh-huh.
Wait, why is this? Shouldn't this be a negative, right?
So e to the 0 if it's 1.
I had a whole.
Yeah.
So negative 2 squared is 4.
It's not negative 2 squared. It's negative 2
I
squared
don't know
though.
how I wrote that one.
The exponent's on the x,
Okay.
right?
No.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that was the one
I'm
thing
making
that
sure.
deterred me from ever taking another history class like that.
What?
Coach Ryan and all the notes we had to take.
Alright, we got time to start another one. Is there another one you want
The
to
only reason I
do?
chose
Number
it was
8.
because
Yeah.
Number 8, the next one, partial fraction decomposition. Alright, let's at least, we can get to setting it up. I can erase this?
Yeah.
Yeah, how many pages of notes did you have by the end of Coach Ryan?
Too many?
Yeah, I think I had probably around 90 to 100. It was absolutely ridiculous.
I remember throwing it all away and being confused.
I think I kept it. I was like, this is a lot of hard effort right now.
Okay, so we got, and the next is equal to
That's what
11.